I'm Seamus. Thank you so much for coming.
You've got a great cause worth fighting for. I couldn't wait to get here. That said, I expected, well, more people?
So far, there's only the two of us.
But we're highly motivated.
Well, it's a start.
Some people I knew already were dear friends of mine, like little gray cells and just my stupid opinion.
Lots of interesting things. This is absolutely abominable, and the RCMP are really in the shit here, and they know it.
Hi, I'm not really sure what I'm doing here, but I think it's time that I needed to speak up.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
Something you watch it on TV, horror movie, you shut it off, you go to bed. We can't shut this off. Every time we close our eyes, the horror movie turns on. So I know for myself, when I close my eyes to go try to go to bed, I picture my parents being shot.
Trying to piece together a story that seems so unbelievable.
Let's have a look at this. I'm going to pause it periodically, and I'm going to try and not lose my shit because I was really angry. Really angry. I'm getting really pissed now. I'll preface this by saying I'm strongly urging all of the victims in this, the victims' families, to launch a class action lawsuit against the RCMP. And I would just love to have the RCMP under discovery. I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure a lawyer would too.
Canadian Mounted Police and their stories. Stories of their courage. Stories of their lives filled with hazard, romance, and adventure. The RCMP story this week, Gunslinger.
Oh my goodness, how many windows do I have open? I don't know what's going on there. I got audio now. Hopefully I have audio. Somebody give me a okay, something went wrong there. More fun, technical fun, probably just on this end, Tardo land. All right. Let's get to the hellos. 40 of you in here. Hello. All right, we got Caper the Bird. How is it happening? Yeah, it's evening show. Try to do it at a better time. Had some friendly advice on that one. Well, as always. Truth and all, case involving Banfield and Nova Scotia will return to court Wednesday after it was determined the defense request for a private meeting next month with the judge and Crown wasn't appropriate. Let's just make sure I've got audio here. Audio okay? I have audio. Okay, good. Blue Nose. catching all the live streams. That's awesome. Anybody not getting notified? There is alternative ways of getting notified. The Twitter below, all the stuff, all the people downstairs, well, whatever, down in that thing box below, they but the my Twitter account definitely has on there, and but please subscribe to all the people working hard. Of course, I have to say, what is this? New audio device detected. Yeah, why don't you piss off? How's that? My language. I should get a language warning. I like that guy's warning. Talks about the cigarettes and the language. Sorry, one moment. I have to always say big, huge hello and thank you. Thank you ever so much to the hard-working folk in the Discord. Is that a good word? Folk. In the Discord, working ever so hard. And, of course, the people in the YouTubes and the people behind the scenes. Because there are people behind the scenes who are working awful hard, who have no face and are unknown, but they work awful hard. So many hellos and thank yous to them. Truth and all, how's it going? Love the name, as always. Beth, our good friend Beth, and Cheryl's here. Alex, Linda McLeod. How's it happening? Darlene, good afternoon. Is it good? It's good evening. Good evening. Has everybody done their supper? Hope this was a good time to pick. I was told this was a good time. We've got Kendall. We've got Jen. We've got Linda M. Mark Evans. Got a supper show. Let's see here. We got Nikki. Sharon. Fire Hall Sharon. Banfield News. Hope you guys like the title page for this. Thank you for letting me know my audio is working. Hello, Tara. Hello, Countryside. Hello, Charlene. Awesome. Bush Baby. Green Bastard. How's it going, sir? I'm almost done my coffee. That's never a good thing. I do have backups, but I always need more. Todd, Mossad hears me. Of course they do. They hear everything. I'm making a stop within the next few days. Chat with Elm State Batro. Jamie Deluxe, or yeah, that's the guy with the warning. I really want it. I do have it. It's his warning, but I do love it. I may have to just pilfer it. How arrogant is Banfield, hiding in a hole for almost a year now? Disgraceful. Pioneer Driver. Hello, Pioneer Driver. That's an awesome name. Martin Brown. Cheers from Nova Scotia. To everybody, especially Quincy, for joining us again. Okay. Quincy. Howdy, Quincy. Kendall and Tara hooked up. Good times had by all. And Cindy's in the house. Hello, Cindy. Cindy and Charlene. Maybe one of these days, Charlene, I'll learn how to pronounce things. I'm trying, I promise. Jetta Volvo. It's kind of an oxymoron, but neat name. Yes, God bless everybody. God bless everybody. You're right, Tara. Glenn B. Rick Rick, how's it going? Marla, I have to say hello. I know that's just the way it goes. So pardon me if I'm at the first few minutes. Martin Brown. Again, there we go. Court is now tomorrow. Yes, we have some updates. So I love that post I saw over in the Discord about this is a good thing to save articles. And I'm like, right on. This absolutely shows exactly why you save articles from before. And actually, maybe what we'll do is a little bit of comparison. I'm once again, I'm kind of just going on the fly because things changed here. So we can do an original read through. I thought what we could do is flash back maybe to an older article. Now I have to preface this by saying, which is probably not wildly popular, but is factual, that the three people are accused. They're not convicted of anything. So don't want to say, absolutes or anything, but they are charged. So they are public, no longer Beths and things like this and hiding in hidey holes. So we could do, what do you want to do? Do you want to do an earlier article from the Globe and Mail? We could go back there. What do you guys think? See, I'm keep working, have an earbud so I can keep up with things. Okay. Hopefully it won't disturb work. Now, yes, hopefully April 18th, 19th. Those of you who have not joined the family Facebook group, please do so. I'll just pull it up here. Tara is still, to the best of my knowledge, banned, even though she's an admin in the group. She cannot comment. This group has had nothing but troubles, sadly, since its inception. The first incarnation of it, I believe, was literally banned. And then for violating community standards or something like that. Somewhere I have the screenshot. And a while back, they blocked all of Tara's comments. So even though it's her group, it was Facebook that did it. And where's that? How do you do? I don't even know how to navigate around this stupid thing. What do you do? I'll try the notifications. That seems to be the way I've got that figured out. Okay. So there we go. Those of you who have not joined, please consider joining this group. If you can, absolutely find the time to go down there. Got 149 now. This is really going up. This is for all of the families that wish to contribute. It's not like a Terra group or anything like that. This is the 23. And for those families that wish to participate in seeking answers. And everybody's at different stages and things like that, but there are, of course, many families and people that are seeking answers. So this would be the place to go. I can drop the whatever URL thingy in here. Does that work? I don't know. Does that work? I don't even know. See, it does something funny, I think. No. Suddenly, why is it doing that? Is it too many letters? Let's try this one. Nope. Exceeds the numbers of letters. Okay. The shirts are going like wildfire. Apparently, I don't even know how you share. How do you share? Share. Copy link. There you go. Something like that. derp, please consider going and joining. The shirts are going like wildfire. They're on the third print. These are not for profit at all. There's zero profit in it. And many thanks to all of you who have been working tirelessly on that project. At some point here, we're going to have to get kind of the PR machine fired up. So anybody who has any ideas on that, please contact me at information below, nsinvestigators@gmail.com. But there's shirts. Oh, wow. Okay. Now look at this. What did I say it was? 143. Now it's 151. Interesting. Okay, great. 8 new members. Last order. This is the last order we will have before the March. So anybody, tonight is your last night to get in on those shirts. So there's shirts, there's hoodies. I think there's bumper stickers. I don't know anything much about that, but they're all 95.7. Not sure what that's about. Best group in town. And thank you very much. Thank you to Kendall, who is reposting on behalf of Tara because she's banned from the group. How that works, God only knows. But it's wonderful that even in this technological ban world, you can have kind of workarounds. And somebody who stepped up to the plate and helped out on that once again. So that is, again, the March on the 18th. If you have any, just get your ass down there. Make a show. It's a one-time thing. It's a peaceful 1 year anniversary. It'll only come once. And, this is a pretty critical time for the RCMP to see that people really do care, the government to see that people do really care, and we're not going to take this. Families getting hurt, laying down. It's got to stop. Got to stop. And truth needs to come out. Okay, now, get the word out. Yes, we've got to get the word out because 95.7, is that what you're referring to? I don't know what you're referring to, but maybe you can help us with that. Is that the place to get the word out? I was thinking of a mass email campaign, but I'm not. Another new member. Excellent. Bonus. People just keep joining, so that's good. That's good. And share it around with your friends. Spread the word. That's the way it gets done. I don't like to shill for anything, but this is shilling for a very good cause. Now, it's not shilling, it's just spreading ideas. Big Dog Radio. Call via radio. Okay. Want to get phone numbers. Uh-oh. That's a horrible ring. Oh, okay. I'm going to talk to you possibly afterwards. I hope that's okay. Not meaning to be rude. Now, so if we go back to January 27, Globe and Mail, lawyer for a man accused of supplying ammunition to Nova Scotia gunmen, criticizes lack of disclosure. We could do that one, or we could do. Why don't we do Elizabeth's earlier article? Cases of 3 people accused of giving Nova Scotia gunmen, okay, like, whatever. You guys know what my title page on this was. And I used the redaction. I used the Sharpie to my advantage. I'll Sharpie out the things that seem to be balls and put in names. Seems a different way of doing things. I'll Sharpie out the bullshit and get to the truth. Cases of 3 people accused, adjourned till March. Lisa Banfield, 52, James Blair Banfield, 64, and Brian Brewster, 60, charged. Again, January 27th. The cases of 3 people charged with giving ammunition to the man responsible for killing 22 Nova Scotians last April were in court briefly Wednesday morning and adjourned till March. Gunman's common law spouse, Lisa Banfield, her brother James Blair Banfield, 54, of Beaverbank, Nova Scotia, and her brother-in-law Brian Brewster of Lucasville, Nova Scotia. It's interesting that they're not mentioning where she's from. And remember this part here. Sorry if the screen is too small. There was always this kind of, we have a bit of a vagity going on in terms of what relationship they honestly were. The RCMP had a difficult time answering that, as I recall. Quite a difficult time. Now, are accused of unlawfully providing the shooter, Gabriel Wortman, with .223 caliber Remington cartridges, 40 caliber Smith & Wesson cartridges, in the month leading up to the massacre, and that started in Portapique, Nova Scotia. When RCMP announced charges in December, the force said in a press release, of course, as always, we got the press releases, nobody can have the balls to just come out and show their face, that the 3 were not aware of Wortman's plans. None of the accused appeared in provincial court, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, in person. Lawyers representing them were called into the arraignment by phone. Prosecutor Shauna McDonald said the Crown proceeded summarily, meaning the cases will be heard in provincial court and the accused do not have to appear in person. Summary offense is considered less serious than an indictable offense. Tom Singleton represented Brewster. Michelle James and Brittany DeVoe represented James Banfield. Jessica Zita, a lawyer from Toronto firm Locklear Campbell Posner, acted on behalf of Lisa Banfield. Now, I believe they became involved second questioning. I believe she was already had legal counsel even in the first day, and then being the 19th, and then subsequent questioning, James Locklear came in, is my understanding, but I could be wrong. They told Judge Jean Whalen, I think this is an important thing to note here, Jean Whalen, they were still waiting for disclosure from the Crown without seeing evidence that has been gathered. Their clients could not yet enter pleas. Next court appearance has been scheduled for March 9th. On April 18th, 19th, Wortman killed 23 neighbors, acquaintances, and strangers in several rural communities while driving a decommissioned RCMP cruiser adapted to look like a real one. Gosh, I was reviewing that call-in show I did, or the radio show I did back, when was it, the 21st? Anyway, police believe he attacked Lisa Banfield that night. Police believe that he attacked Lisa Banfield that night, and she escaped. The denturist, again, she's on trial. The denturist torched their cottage garage and 3 other homes before being shot dead by police at gas station Enfield, Nova Scotia, about 13 hours later, after the violence started, the show and tell. When the police searched the stolen car he was driving, they discovered that he was carrying 2 semi-automatic pistols, 2 semi-automatic rifles, and service pistol of Constable Heidi Stevenson, whom he had killed. Wortman, whom they believe that he had killed. This is all, like jumping to conclusions here. We're not supposed to jump to conclusions in respect to Lisa, which I do understand the legal technicalities of that. Why is it that everybody has concluded exactly what Wortman has done? I find that rather interesting, because it seems like there's a hell of a lot of people who have been working a long time uncovering a lot of stuff, and seems more things emerge as time goes on. Wortman did not, so I don't know how conclusions have been drawn already, but of course they were within, I don't know, a matter of hours. Wortman did not have a firearms license, which took them days to understand. On that note, there was an interesting thing about the, where's that here? Oh, I think I'm in the wrong section in my notes somewhere. Don't know if you guys noticed this little interesting thing that happened. There's people that play. I'm not sure if something else is going on in the background, possibly. The government of Canada is investigating a possible ransomware attack incident on a private company that provides services to some federal departments and agencies, including the RCMP Canadian Firearms Program. At this time, there is no indication that there has been unauthorized disclosure of any personal information of CFP clients. Remember, those weapons were in the Canadian Firearms Program, some of them registered. Who may have had licenses and who may not have. Anyway, read of it as you will. I find it interesting. The weapons he carried illegally. I believe that he obtained all the weapons he carried illegally. Search warrant documents show that the investigators traced a Ruger Mini 14.223 caliber rifle to a now dead Fredericton lawyer who was a friend of Wortman's. Again, we all have to accept their word for it. No documentation provided. They determined also, he also adapted a Glock 23 40 caliber pistol with an overcapacity magazine. Police found casings from that loaded handgun, which was traced back to Maine, in a Mazda that belonged to Gina Goulet, last person he killed April 19th, which they later determined was not red, but in fact gray. Excellent investigative skills. Banfield has never spoken publicly. Not only has she not spoken publicly, she has never addressed the families. In fact, she has turned around and done some interesting moves, which I won't address at this time, but probably not acts that one would do. Had they been in an abused situation and a surviving victim as well. Anyway, she and Wortman were a couple for 19 years and lived above a denture clinic where they worked together in Dartmouth. Search warrants documents show numerous people told investigators Banfield was abused in their relationship. Now, who were these people to the accused? That's an interesting question. She is suing Wortman's estate, valued at $2.1 million. It includes 6 properties, 3 corporations, and $705,000 in cash seized in wreckage, cottage couples in Portapitt. I believe it's valued much higher than that because we haven't had disclosure of the bank accounts, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them in her name. Lots. Now, this part here is what I was referring to. She's suing Wortman's estate. You know who else is suing Wortman's estate? Of course, the families are. So indirectly, she's suing the families. In her statement of claim, which was filed with the Nova Scotia Supreme Court, Banfield said that she was a victim of assault and battery and suffered physical, emotional, and psychological injuries and trauma, which of course is tragic. But at this point in time, we have the word of accused who is on trial for a very minor offense at this point in time, but it could be something much more major down the line. Good to say things about get your ass out of a sling. Now, I thought we could go through, if I can get these here. How many windows do I have open? You want to see how many windows I have open? I'll show you. Just on one browser. Okay? These are just like multiple windows open, right? That's an average day for Seamus. Now, I wanted to go through the first article and kind of read at the same time the second article. So I linked the article down below. And I did happen to archive it. So this is why it's always good. Let's see here. I can give you this link. Hello, Loretta, Donna, Marion, a few nosy Scotian, Dan, Paul. God bless you, Paul. News 95.7. Contact them to get word out. They love news stories. Okay, well, that's good. Guess we got to get something, write a press release, sent to all local media outlets. Mass email. It's got to have everybody under the sun, every politician, every media outlet. We all know, you know, we know, no misconceptions about it. What exactly is happening? Much love, much love. So, if I can find the other one here, where did I have that? So this is the new one. You can kind of compare because there is a little bit of difference. I'm not going to see your comments. Why don't we just read this one? Again, make note of the judge, please, that I said earlier, because there's a different judge. Judge in case of Nova Scotia gunman spouse denies defense request for private meeting. This is the newest one. Last updated 10 minutes ago. See, Elizabeth McMillan made a couple of posts in respect to this. Crown didn't object. This was earlier. The Crown didn't object. Often delays related to waiting for disclosure, i.e. all evidence gathered in the case, that wasn't specified today, but the prosecutor did say the defense had asked for additional info via email last night, and she didn't receive it. No, it'll probably be online, and they're sealing everything up pretty tight, but great question, Beth. And also this post was made in the group, which I am banned, and I think kind of got unearthed. And anyway, but I'm sure there's still good information over there. Elizabeth McMillan says, no, I do not believe that anyone has assigned since there has been no plea yet. And the judge who presided today may not be the judge who is a part of the meeting in 2 weeks. And then Elizabeth updates it and says, for your information, has been updated. Things have changed after court ended. Interesting change of heart, says Kendall. Now, that's why archiving articles, archive.is, archive.org. These things are great tools to use. Save the link. That way, because if the article goes poof, if you have the link, that way you can always go back to it. I'm almost out of coffee. Why is this? Don't understand. Courts are closed to spectators due to COVID. How handy. Yes, of course. Everything's just works out that way. Case involving Lisa Banfield due back in court March 31st. Now, this is the new updated version. Usually they don't tell you that. They just kind of put here last updated or some nonsense. But this time they actually told you updated. I think because people are watching a little more closely. A case involving the common law spouse of the man responsible, and this word I know is different. It's the case, but anyway, responsible for killing 22 people last April 23. Let's make a correction there, please. In Nova Scotia, will return to court Wednesday after it was determined, so that's tomorrow, that the defense's request for a private meeting next month with the judge and Crown wasn't appropriate. I want to get your thoughts and ideas here, and I'll try and get to them. Lisa Banfield, 52, is facing 2 counts of unlawfully providing the shooter with ammunition in months leading up to the mass killings. 2 counts. Okay, so not once, but twice, it sounds like. And again, it's not proven in court, but that's what we're looking at. She is scheduled to enter a plea. She had been scheduled to enter a plea Tuesday, but her lawyer, James Locklear, called into Dartmouth Provincial Court and requested an adjournment so there could be a judicial pretrial conference, a meeting held in chambers as opposed to open court. So they wanted to have a little private powwow. Not a common thing. And I'm not sure if, what is it, Jennifer Zeta? I'm not sure why Locklear is appearing for a plea, but there's something going on in the background, and there are some great theories that I've got going around here. 2 different calibers would be 2 separate charges. Yes, 2 separate purchases. No, we got a date on that. What was that? A few days prior to this going down, right? Must have been when he was submitting his business deals, because, he was premeditating to purchase land and, I don't know, fix his shed and put in, whatever. Pay debts for parts that day. Or was it that day? I don't know. 18, 19, Saturday, Sunday. They don't have that one quite figured out what day is 18, 19. Anyway, in the warrants, quote, "I think it would be a very helpful process," said Locklear, who is based in Toronto, "if I were to tell you why, I think you'd very quickly agree with me." Pause. He's thinking on his feet. How do I say this? I'm not trying to be difficult, believe me. So he doesn't want to tell you, obviously, why, but he's saying if I do, you'd very much understand. Judge Theodore Tax. Remember? We were looking at that earlier. Not a male we were dealing with initially. Now we got somebody else. Initially agreed to the meeting. He noted it wasn't a typical request, but added that Locklear wasn't required to explain. Quote, "It sounds like there are some issues that need to be discussed in some detail with the Crown Attorney, maybe before a plea," said Tax during a brief court appearance. However, in the hours that followed, I guess he had an epiphany. Tax did. Judge Tax. Having a little laugh about that with Kendall. It is a very rare request, yes. Very rare indeed. Yeah, you see, this is the, what do I say? Can't let that cat out of the bag type ... ellipses. Tax determined such a meeting should not go ahead as scheduled April 14th. He asked that the case return to court March 31st. So he kind of sat around and he thought about it, and then he's like, no, I don't think so. So whatever it is that they're asking for, well, you're being nice. I think he's trying to think. Very good lawyer indeed. But maybe I'm seeing shadows. Maybe I'm seeing shadows. Upon further reflection, the court is of the view that such a request is not in conformance with the rules of the court or the open courts principle. Jennifer Stairs, Director of Communication, Nova Scotia Judiciary, said in an email, very interesting. Why are they stepping in, making comments? Did somebody have a phone call? Somebody get a phone call? Say, better look at this one, because these are all matters of their points of law and lots of things. So this is why I want to see your guys' theories. Different judge. Yes, different judge. She said Wednesday, court appearance will be for further discussion and to set new dates. A lot of delaying going on. The case is proceeding summarily, which means a judge alone is presiding over the matter. Now, somebody was mentioning that apparently there's some discussion about the fact that tainted pool, media is tainted. No, a judge isn't tainted, so we can leave that one alone. That's their job. They're sworn to look past those things and be as unbiased as possible. Summary conviction or offenses are often considered less serious than indictable. Fines less than $5,000, jail terms that do not exceed 2 years less a day. That's provincial time. Now, interesting to get charged with something that is not a very serious offense. This is another why. Why would you charge somebody with something not so serious? Are you cutting deals? What's going on here? Have you already cut a deal? Things to consider. And reoffense. Yeah. Lisa's going to walk these. Why would you retain such high priced lawyers? Who's paying for James Locklear? This is a very good question to ask. I'm not very good at winking, if you can tell. Banfield's brother, James Blair Banfield of Beaverbank, it's kind of like the dad, the Razors. How many lawyers is he in now? 4, and he's also on the lam, last I heard, for Razors. Are you serious? Of Beaverbank, Nova Scotia, her brother Brian Brewster, 61, Lucasville, also charged with unlawfully providing shooter Gabriel Wortman with .223 caliber charges and 40 caliber Smith & Wesson cartridges in the months leading up to the massacre started in Port-au-Pic. Are you sure about that, Kendall? Because I've been thinking about that. If that was one purchase, even if it were 2 types of ammunition in one purchase, does it then amount to 2 charges? Or is it 2 separate purchases? All the hidden money, lots of money. Where's the money coming from? Stepping in because tax fucked up. Somebody, I hope some phone calls go to other justices possibly in this, because there's some strange things about gold and statement, awfully weird words getting redacted and then unredacted over months, these petering out of warrants, just vile. When it comes to light, and it will, how these warrants just get petered out. Same warrant over time. So there's many outstanding warrants still yet to come. All the stuff they don't want people to see. They just hope you go away. Either or would be 2 charges. 2 charges, no pal seen. Okay. Why do they have 3 different delays? Interesting questions. Lots of delays going on. Lots of delays for a nothing burger. Because it's not a big offense. I'm not debating whether, what she should be charged with. I'm just simply looking at it from the perspective of, if she has no prior criminal record, to the best of my knowledge, she doesn't, then it's kind of a nothing burger charge, and you really just can plea out and it'll go away. But for some reason, like the dad, it seems to be like Paul Wortman, seems to be a very big problem. We've got to keep fighting this one and delaying. It's advantageous to the RCMP too, right? Because statements of facts don't get read out in court. So details get delayed, and of course people go to sleep and move on to football Monday night or whatever's on. Shiny things. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. James Banfield is scheduled to enter plea April 12th. I don't think I skipped that over there or anything. Sorry. No. Entered plea April 12th. Brewster's case is back in court April 19th. That's a nice day. Why don't you choose that day of all days? Really? Really? You know how many news stories you guys are going to get hit with? It's just going to start rolling in. Everything, all the shiny things at once. Don't let yourself be distracted. Advise your friends. Don't be distracted by the chum they throw in the water. Whether it be Atlantic bubbles bursting at the same time or and I'm not discounting that story at all because it's very important, but I feel it has been hyperinflated, artificially so, the fisherman stuff, which is tragic. And of course, that is the federal government who controls that. That one's going to start boiling here as well, sadly. And it's just to distract, I think, by and large. There's a lot of chum thrown in the water. Does it need to be dealt with? Is it a very serious issue? Yes, it is. But, you know, you have to be able to separate the two. You can't say, well, distract the mind with all these other things going on. Focus. When the RCMP announced the charges in December, the force said in a press release that 3 had no prior knowledge of Wortman's actions on April 18 and 19. Well, let's see here. It's kind of like the brother, or sorry, what is it? The cousin / uncle who knew about all kinds of criminal activities and as a serving member of the RCMP did nothing to report it and instead gave uniforms away to him. You know, yeah, I knew about that stuff, but he doesn't get charged. Really? Would you ask yourself reasonable questions? Would you, if you were a male and you knew that your sister was getting beaten up over years, of course, would you go on vacations with them? I don't think you would. But anyway, I guess maybe never take gift horses in the mouth. Would you then go and buy ammunition for somebody illegally? Would you risk your own neck? Would you risk your sister's neck? If you'd known about it for years? This is a no-brainer. It's seriously... Where's my Tylenol? I need it. That weekend, Gabriel Wortman killed 23 neighbors and acquaintances and strangers in several communities while masquerading as an RCMP officer. The Densurist torched his own cottage, garage, and other homes over a 13-hour period before being shot dead at a gas station in Enfield, Nova Scotia. Because that's what you do. You just burn your own stuff. Yeah. Okay. The charges the trio face are the only ones laid in relation to the investigation into what happened. So the very person who's saying, you know, listen, nothing to see here, it's all because I was beaten up, are the ones that are getting charged. Does that make sense? Credibility? Very small at this point in time. You're charged with criminal offenses. And your ass is on the line. The charges the trio faces, multiple lawsuits. Meanwhile, Lisa Banfield is also suing Wortman's estate, which is estimated to be worth $2.1 million. What did we have before? I think it was $700,000. I mean, it just keeps going up. And as the bank accounts get released, it's going to go way higher. in my opinion. In her statement of claim, she, of course, had a whole bunch of money stowed away from her secretary job. In her statement of claim, which was filed with Nova Scotia Supreme Court last summer, she was said she was the victim of assault and battery and suffered physical, emotional, and psychological injuries and trauma. Again, let's see the proof. Should be lots of it. Should be lots of women coming out of the woodwork, given Mr. Wortman's. Maybe not even women, just. In a separate proposed class action lawsuit against the gunman's estate, alleges it is liable to the families of the victims who lost their lives or to those that were injured due to his actions. The statement of claims filed in the case say the gunman injured 6 people, killed 5 pets, and burned or damaged 4 homes and 3 vehicles. The suit added Banfield, her brother, and brother-in-law as defendants because, like I said, they purchased ammunition for an abuser of their family member. Oh, interesting thing to do. Who doesn't have a firearms license? Nothing to see here. The updated statement of claim alleges Lisa Banfield, quote, was aware of and facilitated Wortman's preparations, including but not limited to his accumulation of firearms, ammunition, other weapons, gasoline, police paraphernalia, and outfitting of a replica RCMP police vehicle. Love to see the receipts of that vehicle. The burden of proof, if it was my courtroom, would be so fucking high. They wouldn't be able to meet it. I don't think, because as much as I want to remain unbiased, pardon me, trying to do my stuff to save the planet. You can ask yourself, do you think you'd be aware? Lived with them, didn't know anything. Banfield has not yet responded to that case. Allegations that has been tested in court, and this is always an important thing to remember. She has also never commented publicly or to families or to anyone, but court records shed some light on what Banfield told police last April. Summaries with no direct quotations, except for it's done. Of 2 of the 4 interviews RCMP conducted, 2 of the 4. Where are the other 2? Guess those are noticeably absent, which then probably means the other 2 led up to the charges and whatever funness may be coming down the pike. With her were released in search warrants after CBC and other media organizations went to court to gain access. Question: how does Elizabeth McMillan and CBC know that there were 4 interviews conducted? I don't believe I've read anything about that in the warrants. But correct me again if I'm wrong anywhere, please. The records show that numerous people, including Banfield, told investigators that Wortman was unfaithful and abusive to his partner for 19 years. Again, love to see who the people are that commenting, but of course, they're supposed to remain secret. I think we had a little update there. 16 people are supposed to remain on the redacted list, but it was okay to say the anthropologist's name and also tell you that the garage code is gold, because that was ultra, super, uber secret. Gold. Very secret. Oh, I see judicial review all over the place. She told police that on April 18th, they were celebrating, it's always good, one side, she told police that April 18th, they were celebrating their anniversary. He became enraged and attacked her, firing shots in her direction, attempting to lock her in a decommissioned police cruiser that was fully equipped beyond to the teats. After he set fire to their garage, because that's totally normal. Banfield told investigators she escaped through the little crack, possibly, and hid in a truck, and then in the root system of a tree overnight. Who is it? Somebody in here has the yeah, absolutely. First time. What is it? Somebody in here has the name for it. The fairy tree or something. I like that. The fairy tree. Silliness. So please archive the article, any articles that you get in the future. Let's get to some theories here. So I had some good discussions today, and Kendall furnished one, which was, or a couple for sure. One was, oh, balls. Why is my mind fading me now? Must be that fairy root system. Must be all the bullshit. Need to have bullshit Windex to wipe my glasses off with. Is it possible? Is it possible that, I think this is a good one. Is it possible that maybe Lisa has gone missing? That she's on the lam? I think that is an excellent one. Good evening, Lynn. So Beth, has disappeared. Is that a possibility? I think it is possible, and I think that would kind of, as what was it Mr. Locklear said here? If I were to tell you why, I think you'd quickly agree with me. Got to have a little meeting, talk about maybe she might not be around, but I don't want to tell everybody. That's a pretty wicked theory. Do remember, she could be facing some very, very serious stuff coming down the pike. Would it be beneficial for her to flee? I wonder what kind of bail conditions were put upon her. Did she have to turn in her passport? ROR? What are we talking here? What happened there? Her lawyer cannot plead if she's MIA. So I think that was really a well thought out theory. Now, another theory was, trying to remember. Can you help remind me? A well-to-do couple helped her out. Well, I heard it was somebody else who has some connections to. Are you talking about the lawyer? The lawyer? Are you talking about the lawyer, Ken? I'm going to grab a quick coffee. I don't feel like having iced coffee right now for some reason. Quickly agree with me. Okay, right. So that was the other one. Mental health. Mental health. Could she be saying setting up a defense, which she'll use for other things that, once again, could be coming down the pike? Or be used, say, in a civil suit against her, where the burden of proof is much smaller. Criminal burden of proof is quite high. Civil suit is much lower. But if she already has an established defense, battered wife syndrome, etc., or for in contemplation of future charges, and has something previously established in, say, a inconsequential case, if they provided ammunition, there's the possibility, most certainly, that you could charge them as an accessory if they knew. Because you can't say, well, he's really violent and abusive in one hand, and then say, well, of course he wouldn't do anything. We thought he was fine. You're breaking the law all around, and people died. Let's see here. 81 of you in here. Hello, hello. Now I'm going to scroll back. And there's lots of stuff in here. Good evening, Ashley. Evening, evening. Or a Zoom. He had to put on his pants. You don't have to wear pants these days, in the virtual world. I like the new normal. I'm being very facetious. I think her lawyer wants to screw it up with Judge Tax to have him taken off the case. Interesting. Interesting. Is not going through adult diversion program. All the hidden money. Could the family sue the three for providing ammo? Absolutely. Absolutely. Be harder to prove, possibly, in the case of James and my apologies. I'm forgetting his name now. Why is that slipping my mind? James Blair and Brewster, Brian Brewster. Mind is not always sharp. But if they said statements in support of their sister/sister-in-law about abuse and knowledge and long-term knowledge, or say, case of Mr. Brewster, his wife, would be harder to say, well, can't have it both ways. Got to decide here which one you're going to do. Insurance. Doesn't insurance become void if you die in the commission of a crime? I believe that is true, yes. 3 different days in court because they are severed cases, which is a good strategy. Anyway, legally, it's a good one to do. Regardless of civil suit, no life insurance payments. I do not believe they're allowed to discuss things with each other, possibly. If you're referring to the defendants, well, I think there was a lot of phone calls made. It would be very good to see phone records between people. So a lot of statements, quite similar. You know, amounts of gas, money buried, which of course everybody tells everybody else where they bury their large sums of cash. I know I like to tell everybody where all my cash is buried. You should all be charged with first-degree murder. Well, if you assist in the commission of a crime, that's a very real possibility. Delays because the Crown did not provide all-in disclosure. Don't want to provide the defense with in disclosure. Don't want to provide the public. These courts, by the way, are whose courts? Your courts. Those documents are your documents. That judge is being paid by you. The police force is being paid by you. Everything is you. Except everybody's getting screwed. Except who's really getting screwed? The families. Not so good to keep these people in emotional limbo. You want to talk about traumatizing? That's traumatizing. Maybe she squirreled away some of Wortman's illegal money. Oh, of course she did. Of course she did. Because, she was getting paid peanuts. That's why she had 6 bank accounts. Those $100,000 limits and things. I would say there's more than that, too. No criminal record if you do adult diversion. Yep. Lisa has a past, doesn't want unsealed. Well, the things I think that she has that, what was it, the diamond case? She sued about the diamond cleaning incident. That was one. See, this is why I say to people, watch what you do. Be very careful because everything on the internet, it can come back and to bite you in the ass. I'm sure things will float up about me. But, we all grow. And I'm sure people will see me for who I am. I'm not sure. Never owned one, just throwing it out there. Owned what? I missed that there. I'm so far behind, I know. Guilty plea would just put this all to bed very quickly, but doesn't do it. Instead, just drags it out. Paul Wortman 4 lawyers. Do you know how much that costs? It's not versus how much he would have actually been fined. No, can't have that. Maranthor, they did serious jail time. Good point. The Mr. Big that ran up there. Oh my. What did Todd say here? Todd. Lisa doesn't want the past coming out. Lisa doesn't want the past coming out. What is Lisa's past exactly? Worked at Source. Is it the Source or something like that? Pants Source, or I don't know. Pants, Worldwide Pants or something. And worked at the Royal Bank, didn't she? Work at the Royal Bank also with probably her sister. Again, innocent until proven guilty, but it's always good to hang around with good people. And stays on your record for 3 years. Through adult diversion program, I think it's clean, but I'm not sure. Otherwise, you're looking at a 7-year thing to clean something off of your record. Gabriel Wortman family should be up on charges. They knew of Gabriel Wortman's illegal stuff for years. Well, we do know of one who has admitted in court. Always wondered why the uncle, or what was it? Oh, sorry, the cousin, right, who actually is the uncle, had to do a DNA test. Why? Paul's right there. Interesting. Maybe DNA on something. I don't know. No sane person would. Not a snowball's chance in hell. Yep. Destroyed records after 5. Isn't it up to 7? Or am I... maybe you guys are talking about diversion program. Why isn't the RCMP uncle being charged? Why isn't anybody being charged? I see a lot of charges that should be being charged. But you see, like I say, if you charge somebody, then there's a trial. If there's a trial, there's a transcript, because there's a defense, and the defense is going to call people, and there'll be a transcript because they'll ask a lot of questions, which then those questions can be used in other cases. So you don't want to charge people because things then may come out. Very important, things don't come out. My brother would have kicked his ass way before 19 years. Yeah. Well, instead they go on vacations together. Vacations. That's what you do. Yay. Public records, maybe. Yeah, what is about the condo? I've kind of heard rumors of this condo. Maybe somebody can fill me in at some point. Public records, maybe, but always within the police system. Yes, that's on their kind of silent system, just like we're all in their silent system. Lisa prepared narrative on the official record, so the entire situation can be pushed onto Wardman and under the rug. It's a psyop using court. I agree, Todd. You know, not to be, but this, to me, a lot of this is just a lot of guff to give everybody else, to make them feel like things are happening. Why does not the media furnish people with warrants? What the hell's wrong with them? Her job, the fixer, oops, the polisher. Ouch. No, it does not stay on your record. Adult diversion is point. Okay. Yeah. That was my understanding. So then you're looking at, because I thought they changed getting your stuff scrubbed. It's now 7 years, I thought, but I know anything about that. So similar conditional discharge. What 6 people injured? What 6 people were injured? Let's look at that again. Good point. Okay, that's a good point there. And we there we go again too. 3 vehicles burned. Ooh. How many vehicles did he have again? How many cars are we up to now? 3 vehicles burned? 6 people. If you read the article carefully, yeah, great pickup there, Marion. And we had the other one. 4 statements. How do they know that? I'm smelling something. Yes. 6 people. Well, the third would be Lisa, I presume. Who else? That leaves 3 unaccounted injured people. Who else is being injured? And how does CBC know that? 45 days to being respond. Couple in Glenholm considered injured. Physically? I haven't heard tell of that. That's news. That's news. If so, okay. Even if so, let's say now we're up to 5. I don't believe so. That's never been indicated, because you'd have to be in proximity to somebody to injure them. But I thought he was outside, right? They were inside. There was a barrier, like doors, walls, residents, separating 2 said individuals, and workmen outside. Come out with your hands up, Gabriel. 6 people and 3 vehicles. I think that's also a good. Thank you for triggering that, though. Awesome point, Marion. First, we heard of 4 interviews. 40 caliber came out of the service pistol. I'm going to have to look back at the weapons, but you see, I find that the weapons are they use certain weapons there because the ammunition is interchangeable between some of these weapons. So what's doesn't specify, then you can't determine necessarily which weapon is being used. The couple, and of course, to the best of my knowledge, nobody's ever gotten any type of idea what ballistics on what weapons were used to kill their loved ones. Autopsies did not come. I mean, they were actually considered closed. The ones that I have been made aware of in, I think it was October. So by that point, loved ones arrangements had already been made, if that's a good way to put it. Sadly, I don't know a good way to say that. But long ago, many people had already been cremated. Way back, but autopsies were very slow coming forward and may in fact not even be the full autopsies. Just kind of summaries of summaries. Who are the other four? The fact that Lisa is still alive tells a lot about what she was working for. HA Triad Cartel would have off her by now if Gabriel was working for them. If she's in hiding, no. Or witness protection, to which they may turn around and say, oh, sorry, that could be a reasonable explanation as to all this mumbo jumbo too. Fairy Tree House, thank you. Her version is of a tree. Tree is a hotel somewhere. Okay, interesting. No ballistics test. How do they know the caliber of the weapons? I was wondering the same thing. If CBC hadn't viewed the warrants, how do they know that there were 2 more interviews? This was an interesting detail that I came across. I'm going to say, sadly, I didn't sample it out, but it can be shown if you go through the 13 hours episodes versus the warrant releases. There was a piece of information that came out in the warrants that was not made, that was previously released on 13 hours, which I've always found interesting, how 13 hours seems to know about that before it was out in the warrants. But, that's just tinfoily. So it's a good question. They haven't offed her because she's tight-lipped. Literally says weapon caliber on each of the weapon and the rim of the casing. But how many casings have been recovered? There may be something to that part of the story too. Does anyone know if she's really still in the province? Who knows? Who really knows? I mean, that's that criterion. Hoping to get to some of these because I know I'm really far behind now. She could be in trouble country with Gabriel. Lawyer cannot plea if she's MIA. She bought a condo. Oh, she bought a condo. Yeah, I was talking about the condo in Paradiso or wherever the hell they're down in the Caribbean or whatever. Condo not confirmed. Probably not in her name. Yeah, I don't know. I heard conflicting information on the condo in Nova Scotia part, but flee to a country that doesn't have an extradition treaty with Canada. Ooh. Apparently, that would be brutal if that came out. Apparently, I don't know, again, if you're talking about the lawyer, because if you are, then I heard it was more than just a couple, but maybe you can let me know. But one particular individual. New ID. Well, I saw oh dear in here. The shot in the foot guy. Well, who is the shot in the foot guy? Like, no, nobody's heard. It's 5. Looked on the website. It is 5. Sorry. Okay, where? Oh, destroyed 5 years. Okay, thank you. Okay, now I know. Now you know is the rest of the story. 4 lawyers for $50 in razors. All the guns were hidden. I think there may be more guns than 5. Just maybe. But just saying. The ... lawyer. Take a few seconds and... Oh, wow. Thank you, Loretta. That's nice. I won't highlight that comment, obviously, because that's kind of self-promotion, but appreciate your kind sentiment. I noticed those numbers are always altering. They not own it. I'd like to learn more about this. I haven't found anything, but I definitely have heard about it. If she leaves, who'd liquidate all her assets? In respect to that, interestingly enough, there's conflicting statements as to destinations. Cuba and Dominican Republic, you think you know the difference. Certain people say different things. Don't know if that means anything. It's like the uncle also saying what was it? He didn't have any contact with him, but he went away with them. Or he came to visit them. That was it. He hadn't had any contact with them such and such a time, but he actually came to visit them. Or they came to visit him. Something like that. Uncle, cousin, whatever we want to call you today. Yeah. Who will liquidate all her assets? No, of course not. They're too busy tapping everybody else's phones. Don't you know? Echo. How's it going today, RCMP? What's her face should not be allowed to travel, at the very least with criminal charges. Well, I'd like to know her bail conditions. I mean, it's standard procedure to seize passport if flight risk is presented. Nova Scotia. Where's the 50 caliber gigantic 4.5 foot gun? Oh, can't find that. It's like the stairwell. Who does that? Yeah, sure, money. Hello, RT Music. Hello. I believe there's lots more money buried. Said recent location. Some of you, some for me. Westray mine. They all got off because the Crown did not provide disclosures, so the case gets thrown out. It's a sham. This stuff is a sham. Enough of the sham. I said this analogously to like the bully and the lunch money. At some point in time, you just have to say, no, not taking my lunch money today. It's over. I'm done. We can all just stand up to all of these people. All of them. Every which way from Sunday. Just say, no, it's over. You had a good run. You failed. They provided the same script. They were all provided the same script. Let's see the phone records. Maybe that was what Leather was holding. I don't know. His conscience, something like that. I know it is bullshit, but there goes their defense saying they didn't think he was dangerous supplying ammo. You do not need a pal to go and buy reloading components. Find a dude with a press and presto ammo. But somebody did buy ammo, and so somebody had their pal. Yeah, why weren't we running Mr. Biggs on this? There's a good point. You did it before for dead members, right? Why can't you run Mr. Biggs here? Canada, of course, Mr. Biggs. Biggie Biggs. Ugh, what a foul. Anyway, diversion. Can I email you? God. If the family sue, there should be more coming out in disclosure. Disclosure, it would like the intro says. I would love to see Discovery, be a part of Discovery. There's a hell of a lot of people I would call, a lot, and there's no limitations. You can just call them. Let them try and prove national security on some of it. I think we get more information in a civil trial than the inquiry. I would agree. If the civil trial is handled correctly, if it's handled correctly, I would see that cigar shop guy on the stand without MSM encroaching on what he had to say. Interesting questions for him, for sure. Burden of proof is different, yeah. Judge Judy scrubbed my records. I had to go to Jerry Springer and say I was RCMP dancing bear stripper with the bison head on the wall and real cruisers. Example. Hello, oh dear. Please subscribe to her channel. Working hard, really working hard. Put out another new great video. We could play that. 2 shooters at the fire hall. There's another great. All the people at the fire hall. Hello, Nancy. Shot in the foot guy. Yeah. Emotional, psychological injuries. I don't know about that. They said they didn't even see him. Yeah. He's outside. Physical barriers. Be kind of, but I don't know. It is indicated in a news article there was emotional and psychological trauma. They didn't see him only from the window. If there's mental injuries, it'd be way more than 6 people. That's an understatement. Yeah, you could stick families of 23 in there. Bing. How about all of you? How about all of you working hard in here? I seen a bunch of you have some hard days. I know I've had some hard days. Not like I'm going to turn around and sue, but honestly, 40 caliber is very common pistol round to use on it. Yeah, common. Yeah, it's good to pick common things because then makes it harder to narrow it down. Aha, yes. Wow, you're good. Did he injure them physically? Good point. Kids, 6. But then again, you see, now we're into injury psychological. So then that would make 7, right? Chad Morrison, Lisa Banfield, Andrew McDonald, and 4 kids. Or if it is the 4 kids, did you just admit Lisa Banfield wasn't injured? Or somebody else in the story? Because it should be 7, not 6. Still want to see the ballistic bullets on all the victims. Absolutely. Absolutely. They've got a lot of stuff that's got to come. Full autopsies, not the partials. The ones that, what is it? Me and me. I like that. That was very professional. So and so and so and so and me. Huh? And me. Not M-E, but me. As in U-I, me. No. Blair children injured. They put out the fire. Gabriel Wortman started. More injured, less dead. Not if she's protected by the RCMP. Crematorium at Dartmouth burnt that week as well. Yes, it did. Yep. If she was an informant, would she be protected? Yes. And there was a statement made kind of off the record to somebody that question posed, what was it? If she's in witness protection or protective custody, would you say so? Is she? Sorry. So it's a yes or no response. And the response was, if I were to tell you that, that would defeat the purpose of the program. Read into it as you may. Maybe they should include number of people who are mentally, emotionally injured. That would be the country. Obviously, the families of the 23, followed by the country. Frankly, maybe the country should sue. Hell, it's all our money anyways. Might as well get it back. Beth, at 9 p.m., the fire was huge. Beth. Oh, that Beth. Maybe, informants are only protected from being charged. They live normal lives. Yes, we got quite a wicked witness protection program in this country. It does dole out, not their stupid number that they give you, like 6 million or something retarded. 6 million. A lot. Lots and lots. Need to hear 911 calls from that day, 911 call logs. That would be a very good thing to see. All of them. When, who, where. Does it fit the narrative? Maybe she was an undercover. Ding. That's, yep. Working together in separate bedrooms. I'm sensing a lot of really deep something going on at a very high level. Nothing really recovered in Wentworth. Got to run. See you later, Glenn. I'm sure that was a while back. Hope you have a great evening. Wondering if someone was turned into ashes. Not sure who that's referring to. I'll just try and keep it. Uh-oh. Where am I now? Oh my, I just got blasted with a whole bunch of messages. If she was undercover, would she face more charges for withholding information? It's very hard to charge operatives, agents of police, or police officers. They are allowed to do a lot of things undercover, despite what people may think. Some informants get offered up. Hell, I mean, The RCMP has in the past well, I should be careful. There are, I'm sure I can dig them up. There are cases where the RCMP has been full well knowledge of some very, very, I'll leave it at very, very serious crimes being committed and did nothing about it in terms of CIs and things like that. They just kind of let it go. Like with Whitey Bulger down in the States. Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. You have a pass here. Some informants get offered up for $1 million, get a new name, well-known HA offered. Oh, yes, no, more than $1 million. And they'll sit around and negotiate. People will negotiate deals. It's pretty gross. Dominican condo, yeah. Anybody seen anything on that? Building mostly concrete, yeah. The building was mostly concrete. Which building? Sorry. McLeod home was bulldozed days later. Well, I mean, they were in there with the backhoe. Ouch. In a burning home. I'm just going to leave it there. Hello, down by the bay. A little late. I'm a little late with the comments. So she's hiding in the Middle East around China, where the RCMP are dumb to look. Too dumb. Listen, you just misspelled too. The shot in the foot guy has to be Morrison, or there was one more officer that left a gun in the woods. Well, then we'd be up to 8. It was reported that Morrison was shot in the foot by the RCMP themselves. I'd love to see that report. If you can email that to me, I would be greatly appreciative, Nancy. Thank you. Remember one officer limping at Onslow Fire Hall. I believe that was a stumble from a pothole, or so I've heard. That's there. But I could be wrong. Or Lisa is at the Playboy Bunny at the Nygaard's Island Resort. Trudeau fixed her up with a Chinese passport. Well, the humor, you have to have humor, right? If it wasn't Morrison, who was it? I don't know. Lots of big people, lots of agencies involved, lots of black vans. The information is all coming from the same ambulance attendant about the car unlocked, gun in woods, guy shot in the foot. Hidden inside Bison Head. Back to work. See you later, Nancy. Okay, so she's not going to hear what I have said because I'm so far behind. Hopefully she has a good shift. If a person is charged in relation to murders, can they not be placed on a no-fly list? Yeah, I don't, yeah. There's lots of things I could say. Somebody was telling me, I can notice sometimes, Seamus, that you're biting your tongue. I'm like, yeah. Sometimes. Lots of things to say, can't really say. They didn't run, not necessarily to do with this either. They didn't run Mr. Big case because they didn't want to be called out for purposefully screwing up as part of their cover-up. You see, it's not an aptitude. I really, really hope that one is put to rest. There isn't, oh, sorry, it's just a little bit of foul ups here we made. No. They know exactly what they're doing. Many connections throughout this whole story. They are vast. and frankly, inexplicable, even to an outsider like me. Or better yet, to people I talk to down there. No, you can't be connected in all these different ways. Many people connected. Many. I think the uncle should be added to the lawsuit. Great idea. Bing. Yep. 100%. I would. You can always add people to lawsuits and then further remove them at a later point in time. A judge will deem whether that's valid or not. Might as well throw everybody. They always throw kitchen sinks in class actions. At the inquiry, a group that has been interested in the case should apply for standing. Want to apply for us all. I'm not going to comment on any of that. I'm not going to venture there. But I think, frankly, people should apply. People should apply. Get your say. Phone that number. Oh, it's you got to apply, don't you? Anybody have the application, the place to apply? Hell, inundate them with it. Are they saying people in the lawsuit? Are they just saying people in the lawsuit? I'm not sure what you're saying there, oh dear, but perhaps you can elaborate. Clinton considered be injured? Yes, again, there's another hypothermic case. So now, if you take the children out, what do you have? Take the children out. So you got Chad Morrison, Lisa Banfield, Clinton. You're going to be up to 4 then. This number is not making any sense. 6. Not sure what they're talking about. Could be why they said the 3 vehicles. Okay. Yes. Could be vehicles that are burned or damaged. Okay. So yes, the 3 vehicles, that would be Heather O'Brien's vehicle and Alana and Sean's vehicles. So maybe I'm not seeing this correctly. Great point. Thank you. Perhaps they include this way, but the numbers still don't match up then, I think. Unless we have shot in the foot guy. Okay, now I'm just way far behind again. Oh, it's getting further. Still have nightmares. Leon. Okay, is Leon considered what is considered injured? I'd like further clarification. Perhaps somebody can leave a message to or if you're happening to watch Ms. McMillan, be very appreciative if you would elaborate on the 6, which of course is, we'll just do this again, archiving it, so we make sure we got very clear there. Clear as mud, CBC, witness protection, doles out millions per case. Yes. These deals that they make with people too to testify it. I do believe they're talking about in the lawsuit 6 people, Pat's 3 vehicles, not all people listed in the lawsuit that were injured. Okay. Has anyone been in contact with Maureen regarding mass murder? Asks Tara. I think only certain people have that There's different application processes, right? So, oh, you're still waiting to hear back. Closing date. So you got a week. You got 1 week to apply. Baldy and Bum were Lisa's handlers, maybe. We know who Baldy is now, right? So, who is Bum, though? Baldy's an interesting character. Been involved for a long time. A lot of things to do with the story. McLeod's daughter said that they were in their house looking for stuff. In their house. Okay, not sure. Yeah, I see a name there. Guy at fire hall might have shot himself in the foot. Hello, Tony Flabberjack. And I saw your name that you threw out there. You would need Morrison's official workplace injury report and his hospital report to see if they both connect. Workplace injury report. Great. There's another one. Might want to ask for that. Yes. No, you guys get a separate thing that other people don't have access to. Yeah, I hear he killed 11 people while he was an informant. Okay, so now we're really far back because I know informants what we're talking about here. There never was one, Kendall. You know that. No, there never was one. The cancer. Linda McDonald asked Linda M., do I know you? Thank you for putting out the link, Tara. Appreciate that. You got 1 week to apply. Please, apply, especially if you have knowledge. Lots of people now, it's a slow process. It's very sad to see that it's such a slow process, but there is more and more coming out. And you have to be cognizant of that too, that it's taken this long. So I usually put a little bit more, there's a little more of a grain of salt looking at things. Accident, people can't talk. Clinton withdrew from the lawsuit. Okay, I'm not going to go there. Vehicles in Shuby were burnt because the authentic electronics car. Yeah. Oh, that car had to go. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it. Okay, so am I all caught up here now? Seriously? Wow. That's part of the bigger story. If my memory serves me, the officer shot in the foot happened in Portapique on the night, Saturday night, accidental discharge. I can't seem to find where I read that, though. Thanks for that, Darlene. Sharon and the guys at the Onslow Fire Hall should apply for standing. Absolutely. Shot in the foot with EMS Sunday morning, 11 a.m.-ish. Now, there had those tapes that CBC furnished us back then were different. There was some things that were reported to me to be missing out of those tapes. So, yeah, I don't know what all that means, but I would definitely throw a lot more credibility behind those tapes than the Dream tapes. No, it was okay. You got to get off the scanner. Off the scanner. Okay. Anyway, so 2 hours. Thank you to the 80 people who joined us. I don't know if I've missed any points here. Probably, of course, have missed tons. Please leave the comments below. Contact me. I don't necessarily get all of my emails and or phone calls, so please be aware of that. Sometimes, and sometimes I'm just very poor at responding. So please, if that is the case, give me some time. Maybe there was more than just Chad in the RCMP SUV. That RCMP SUV is rude. And there was a new episode of the 13 Hours that came out. So I don't know how much wind in the wheat you want to listen to, but that is out there. So for those of you that want to listen to swimmers and weather, perhaps there is good stuff. You always have to sort wheat through the chaff, because there is good stuff out there. You just have to kind of piece it together. I believe everything CBC says. Oh yes, there was an article I had that somebody had posted. And I know I got a phone call, and I presume that you're in here. I will be calling you back in relation, that actually has to do with this. Corrections and clarification, CBC. We had the CBC. Oh, by the way, before I get into that, you remember I read the article about how CBC made their big, we're part of all these super make work projects that are going to tell you how to tell the truth, because we don't really know how to tell the truth, and we've invented committees on how to tell us how to tell the truth. And part of that was that they said that they were moving to their online platform, and that only the 5% of people who watch them or whatever they say and pay attention to whatever they say is because the online stuff. Now, I notice I am getting bombarded with news from CBC. I think that possibly YouTube is pushing CBC. And on some of these stories, I am, what can you do, right? You can downvote things if you disagree with them. But the problem is it's kind of a catch-22, because if you want to downvote them, then you have to view them. And I usually view them for a small amount of time, 30 seconds or something like that, so that the algorithm will kick in, especially if it's something I already know for sure. And I'll wait that 30 seconds and then I'll downvote. I usually try and listen to it all, but some of it you just can't. But if you watch it to downvote it, then technically you go into the numbers, and then CBC says, look, everybody's watching. Can't you tell? Kind of a fucked up game they play. Corrections and clarification. CBC News is publicly tracking significant corrections and clarifications. I like tracking. Tracking's awesome. I love my cell phone. It's going in the toilet. Bye-bye, Sharon. Have a good rest of the evening. Hopefully you can get some downtime. CBC News is committed to transparency. Sounds awfully like another federal, sounds like all federal things, all government things, and accountability to our audience. Whenever we make an error or need to clarify a story, oh, that's going to be a big story. All of that, those, accountable things that you guys have done with this one. Until now, we noted any corrections or clarification to online articles at the bottom of the story. TV or radio correctives were done on air on relevant broadcast, effective January 1st, 2021, as part of the commitment to transparency. Yay, transparent like shit. CBC is also publicly tracking significant corrections or clarifications to our TV and radio news reports and online articles. March 22nd, 2021, we've updated this story. Thank you for that. Probably nobody archived the first one. First published March 8, 2020, because the original article did not accurately clarify that the something led to change in visiting hours at the Thunder Bay Regional Health Sciences Center following the Ministry of Health guidelines that were updated due to the pandemic. The story has also been updated and to add references to restrictions imposed by Timmins and District Hospital, and to clarify CBC Thunder Bay's research was based on a small random sampling. Just a little tiny, like, it's very important. We'll tell you everything. Across Ontario, and not a formal survey. That's only kind of misleading. Well, glad to say that you're lying some more. Let's see, what's the next one? Oh, March 22nd, 2021, same day. CBC News updated this story, originally published April 23rd, 2020, which did not accurately reflect Thunder Bay's Regional Health Sciences. Okay, more about this kind of stuff, of course, which they're just going to basically tell you more stuff. March 18th. Okay, now we're going to hear about, yay. Okay, yeah. March 16th. I'm just going to link the article. I don't think this is just bunk. A list of bunk. Big list of bunk, just keeps going on, more bunk. But if you archive their articles and stuff, you can find lots and lots of bunk. It's just bunk all around. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it a night, because it's now 8:30 down there. Maybe there was an exchange gunfire officer shot in the foot. My lord. Shot on foot makes sense. Sorry? Shot and on foot. Oh. Okay. I don't know. You guys with your excellent ears can pick that up. Oh, painful. I have the utmost respect for all of you who are able to endure. It's sad. And conscience is very dirty. I would feel quite badly. And I definitely would not feel proud of my work. It's good to feel proud of the things that you do. You take pride in it. Something that's a testimonial about yourself. And of course, having a clean conscience, very important. Anyways, do take care. I do hope that everybody's doing well. Please take care of yourselves and one another. Much love and prayers to all of you. Thank you very much for all of your hard work over here. We are really, truly blessed and lucky to have each other. And much love and prayers for the 23. Take care.